Truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. May 30th, 2017, one of the top news stories. Kathy Griffin, the comedian, did a photo shoot with a mock beheading of Donald Trump. And I want to show you what's so interesting about this story. We've been talking about the number 134 being coded all around the Trump administration and how this number has to do with destruction throughout history. Notice Kathy Griffin in gematria sums to 134. Recently, we were just talking about this number in regards to Jared Kushner, 134, who's under a lot of scrutiny right now as one of the key members of the Trump administration. Of course, Donald Trump ran on the campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again," 134. You might recall the Trump tombstone story from 2016, where on the tombstone it said, "Make America Hate Again," instead of great, hate. There's also his wife, Melania, 134, who's been seen smacking his hand away, who's not staying with him at the White House, reportedly costing taxpayers $150,000 a day for the extra security for her and her son, Barron. I mean, just think about that. We have this, it's all a show, it's all propaganda, it's all meant to mock us and piss us off, but just think about it. I mean, we have this moron as a president, and just imagine if it were true. We have to pay an extra $150,000 a day to protect his wife and child. It's sick, you know? Imagine what that money could be used for. Think about all the depleted schools throughout this nation. No after-school programs. Anyway, the word impeach also has gematria of 134, and we keep hearing about this number with Trump. You know, from Russia to the wiretapping and more. Now lately, the firing of James Comey as well. And has anyone thought about that name, James Comey, in light of Donald Trump having the comb over? We know that it's actor agents selling us out. We have Mr. Comb Over, who's now in more scrutiny for firing Comey, you know? And we know it's all a show by the numbers, as we've covered on this channel. This news also came on the same day that House of Cards released their new season. We're talking about House of Cards and Donald Trump, the Trump card. The president in House of Cards is named Francis, which has gematria of 119 like Donald. Remember, Donald Trump is announced as the president on November 9th, the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Donald Trump, Mr. Wall. The president's name is Francis Underwood in that show. Underwood sums to 47 like Trump as well. House of Cards, Trump card, President 47, White House 47, Government 47, 47 degrees on the Freemason compass. A lot of things are pointing to June 3rd. This could be another. You know, June 3rd has this gematria of 134. "You're fired," Donald Trump's tagline from The Apprentice. Now we know what that was really all about, just getting him in front of our face, seeing him as the boss, Mr. Large and in charge. Then he's the next president's stooge. And of course, both Tisha B'Av and 9th of Av sum to 134, which is the most important piece. This is the exact same thing. Tisha B'Av is the Jewish word for 9th of Av, which is to remember the destruction of the two temples, which happened centuries apart on the same date in history, supposedly. Again, this number has everything to do with destruction. Tisha B'Av, to remember the destruction of the two temples. And think about the destruction of the two towers on September 11th. Tisha B'Av in Jewish gematria equals 911. Donald in Jewish gematria equals 119, the reflection of 911. Donald Trump, elevated to the status of president just to bring him down for the next planned shenanigans by the New World Order that really controls this nation. This nation's a New World Order dictatorship with a puppet show that fools 95% of the people. Kathy Griffin being a redhead, you know, something interesting about redhead, it has gematria of 36 forward and back. Another way to express the date, June 3rd. Redhead 45, like Trump being the 45th president. Berlin Wall 45, announced as the president on the anniversary of the fall of the wall. Also 144, a number connected to killing throughout history. We just saw Trump meet with the Pope on the 144th day of the year. The Pope, a Jesuit. Donald Trump, a Jesuit. Jesuit order, 144. Fateful number throughout history. The Jesuits, the killers, the Masons within the Catholic Church. Also, beheading and beheads both happen to have gematria 44, what we call the kill number. Beheading also 188 like Bavarian Illuminati, 145 like Catholic. The video that CNN put out, of course, a minute 13 on this story. You can watch it yourself. I'll link this post. Just click on the CNN link in this blog post. It'll take you. You can watch this video. A little more information on the beheading. But 113, number of mainstream deception. Mainstream propaganda, which it always is. Donald Trump Jr., disgusting but not surprising. This is the left today. Let's not forget that Donald Trump, a Democrat his whole life, until Barack Obama became president. All part of the show. Obama, number 44, but only the 43rd person to be president. Trump, number 45, the 44th person to be president. And think about the word that brings these two together. Birther, 44. So I'll link this blog post. A couple more interesting things about Kathy Griffin. Her birthday, November 4th. President of the United States equals 114. Whoops, I don't know why I wrote president equals. It's supposed to say President of the United States equals 114. Must have been tired. Trump card equals 114. Trump, also in Francis Bacon gematria, is 114. So she has the perfect birthday to be mocking Trump. She's 56 years old right now. Remember, Washington, D.C. equals 56. Just like Society of Jesus, the full name of the Jesuits. Washington, D.C., where the Catholic colony once was. Also in the news yesterday, this resignation matters a lot. Michael Dubke, the communications director. And I'll link this post if you want to read more. There's some things that are interesting here, but the most interesting thing is this. It happened on Trump's 131st day in office. Inauguration Day, January 20th. This man resigned May 30th. Resignation, 131. And this article is all about how important this resignation is. He's also currently 47 years old, this man. Again, everything in Washington, D.C. is 47. President, government, White House, authority. D.C. equals 47. The streets have a 47-degree angle that point at the White House, just like how the Freemason compass set at 47 degrees. He did this 42 days after his birthday, Freemason 42. It's all ritual. All you read about when you open up the paper, turn on the TV, your favorite magazine, all you're reading is the Zionist Jew propaganda put out for the day by the numbers. There's never any other type of information reported in the mainstream. Just bullshit propaganda by the numbers every single day. All of those stories you see right there are all bullshit. That Oregon story, complete fiction. Another story yesterday connecting to Trump and women, kind of like Kathy Griffin and Trump. Urinating Sketchy Dog statue appears next to Fearless Girl. Have you seen this trend in the last year and a half or so? Statues just showing up out of nowhere. You know, we had the naked Trump statue, the naked Hillary statue, the Trump tombstone. We actually had a number of naked Trump statues. But right away, Sketchy Dog. If you read this story, it's about Wall Street. It's supposed to be symbolism for Wall Street. And Sketchy Dog equals 45. Just like, I want you to see Berlin Wall. Berlin Wall 45, also 63. Wall Street, 6336. June 3rd will be Trump's 135th day in office. They are signaling something with Trump, the fall of the wall, Wall Street, that might come as soon as this June 3rd. I am noticing they continue to run that ad in the media, Despicable Me 3, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. In the beginning, it starts with somebody yelling, "You're fired." A lot of you who troll my work, you need to know how to spell your right. A lot of you write this. You write, "You're dumb." You know, you don't want to write that sentence. When you write "you are," the "your" for "you are," it's an apostrophe R-E. But anyway, "You're Fired" 63. And that Despicable Me movie is coming out June 30th, 6/30. So anyway, a lot being foreshadowed for June 3rd. This sketchy dog fits right in. And the statue was put next to Fearless Girl. It makes me think about Trump and how he likes to grope women and he ran against Hillary. This story also came on Trump's 131st day in office as well. You know, Fearless Girl getting peed on Trump's 131st day. 193, the 44th prime number. Again, Trump, the 44th person to be president. 44 kings of Israel. Trump was in Israel for Jerusalem Day. Whoops. Jerusalem Day 44, like the 44 kings of Israel. Jerusalem Day was also another 134 that we could have mentioned. He was next to Netanyahu, 134. Also 44 like Israel. And remember, he saw the Western Wall on that trip, another 44. 44 kings of Israel, Donald the doofus Trump, the 44th person to be president of the United States. And just for all of you trolls who continue to write "you're dumb" the wrong way, again, I'll explain this because I know you guys get so confused. How could he be number 45 but the 44th person? Once upon a time, Grover Cleveland was number 22, and then Harrison was president after him, number 23, and then Grover Cleveland became president again, 24. So Grover Cleveland being 22 and 24 threw the count off. The 25th president was the 24th person. You know, if you write "you're dumb" the wrong way, you might not be sharp enough to grasp what I'm saying. As we know, there's only two types of people who troll this channel. Retards and fucking faggots. People who like taking it up the ass. And there's a lot of those in this nation. It's a nation of retards and faggots and not much else. You know, I don't care if you're homosexual. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about all the worthless fucking faggots who like getting fucked up their ass every single day by all the lies in this nation. There's a whole lot of these. Again, that's about 95% of the people who live here. I'll link this post if you want to read this article. But again, it has everything to do with Wall Street. And it's supposed to be a tribute to the 1987 collapse, which we're going to see another one very soon. And just like how it was in 87, planned and orchestrated on purpose by the elites, you know, for the ass fucking that they love to give out, it'll be done again. That's why we have this stooge doofus as our president right now. And here's the other thing everyone's talking about this morning. Look at how the media can just make people buzz about the stupidest stuff. Donald Trump sent a late night tweet with a typo. I mean, this is where I think they're going with this. In satanic gematria, this sums to 307, which is the 63rd prime number. Again, like June 3rd, 6/3. They're talking about how this typo went viral. Both of these words have gematria of 62, like Mason. Kind of like June 2nd, which will be a Friday, the day before June 3rd. It's possible we get some story on June 2nd that leads to an even bigger news story on June 3rd, a Saturday. Typically, weekends are slow with the news, but lately, they've been pretty busy. This word also has gematria of 127, like Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, what runs the show. The most Jewish branch of Masonry. Again, all media controlled by Zionist Jews, without exception, across the world. This Urban Dictionary definition did make me laugh, though. Cavfefe, when you want to say coverage, but your hands are too small to hit all the letters on your keyboard. Just out of curiosity, what is the gematria coverage? Nothing worth writing home about. I could tell you about all those numbers, but I don't see how it pertains. This story is also coming from Trump's 132nd day in office. Supposedly he tweeted this very early this morning, May 31st. 132. There's 132 rooms at the White House. United States of America, 132. Catholic Church, 132. England, 132. Princess Diana, 132. She died 132 days from the Queen's birthday, plus a whole lot more. Again, the Catholic colony is where Washington, D.C. now is. It was once called the Catholic colony. So there it is, Truth Seeker. Down below, I'll link the Gematria calculator so you can do the calculations yourself. I just uploaded a video about the death of Manuel Noriega, dead at 83 days after his brain surgery when he became military dictator of Panama in 1983. The same year Murder by Numbers, the song, came out. The word murder, 83. All right, Truth Seeker. Until next time.